Kenya's Gold.
Right now, what an incredible week we have had so far right here on the program, learning so much about all matters agriculture from farmers in different parts of the country and experts as well. For example, yesterday here in studio, a professional kappa, wale watu ambao wanaangalia the quality of coffee, taught us the correct way of doing cupping, and we were learning so much about the quality that is expected of our coffee in the international market. Now, even today, I will be taught by a 3-year-old how to take a jembe, venye unafaa kushika, venye unafaa kupanda broccoli. Best believe it's a 3-year-old that will be giving me those lessons on the program today. A very good evening, viewers. Thank you so much for making time to join us from whichever part of the country that you are watching us from. Na kama kawaida yetu, we do have a great show lined up for you as we wrap up this week. My name is Violet Sangina, or the International Mkulima. All right, I believe now I have your attention on the fact that a 3-year-old will be showing us how to get into the farm na kufanya mambo ya ukulima, so you better stick around for that. Now, moving on to the agenda of the day, every single Friday we focus on sustainability in agriculture, climate change, and we also explore crops that can withstand the current effects that we are facing in climate change. Now, later on here in studio, we will also be joined by an expert who will be shedding more light on market dynamics, good agricultural practices, and also how to make sure that agriculture is sustainable. But before we get to that, wacha tuanze kipindi chetu kwa kuenda all the way to Nyandarua County, where we will be meeting a farmer who's practicing mixed farming, and she will also shed light on some of the challenges farmers in Nyandarua are facing. Take a look at what we found in our feature starting now. Another day, another trip, and the trip today has brought us all the way to Nyandarua County. And what you can see behind me is the Aberdare Ranges. Now, what brings us here? We're here to meet a very young farmer who's practicing mixed farming on a 3-acre piece of farm. Yani kama ni mboga tofauti ako nayo. Kama ni red cabbage inapatikana, white cabbage inapatikana pia. Tukiingia katika mambo ya broccoli, cauliflower, all that, you can find it in her farm. Something else that will be coming out of this conversation is the issue of market. Mara mingi utasikia wakulima wakisema tunafanya kazi vizuri kwa shamba, mazao ni nzuri lakini hakuna soko. So what ends up happening, either they eat all their produce, wapatie majirani, or they give it to the animals to feed on. Today you will be getting a real case study on that. And at the same time, all hope is not lost, because this particular farmer has made sure that her 3-year-old daughter has gotten herself into the agricultural sector. Na unaona hapa niko na jembe ndogo. This clearly ni jembe ya mkulima mdogo. So later on in this feature, you will be meeting our youngest farmer on the show. She's only 3 years old and already she's a broccoli farmer. We start this feature right now.
Hi, how are
Eliza?
you? Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank
Niko na
you.
jembe ya our young farmer. She's of key interest today on the show, but wacha tuanze na wewe.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Asante sana kwa kutukaribisha hapa kwa shamba yako.
Asante sana.
We're so happy to be here. Uko kwenye mnaishingi na hii baridi?
Hii baridi inakuanga tu 24 hours.
Kuna mtu ameniambia hata sasa hawasiki baridi, it's hot. Is this the weather every day?
Yes, this is the weather every day.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you. We are happy to be here kwa hii shamba yako. You're doing mixed farming.
Yes.
Nataka tu tuanze kwa kuona the different vegetables or crops that you're growing in this farm.
Yeah.
Kuna nini na nini na nini?
Kuna broccolis, kuna cauliflowers, kuna sukuma wiki, kuna red cabbage, kuna white cabbage, we have some beans, we have some peas. and so on.
Right.
Yeah.
Ulianza ukulima wakati upi? What pushed you into that?
Nilianza ukulima after high school because before I went to college nilikaa kiasi. So during that time I had to keep myself busy, and that's why when I started doing some small farming, I started doing some cabbages, some broccolis, and then it was my passion since high school kwa sababu hata nilifanya agriculture.
In high school?
Yes, in high school.
Nice.
So ilini motivate sana just seeing crops grow, napanda zikwa very small seedlings until harvesting time. It is really fulfilling.
Eliza, maybe you can tell us, back in the day ukiwa high school, which high school were you in? Agricultural class yenyu ilikuwa na wanafunzi wangapi? And was it an interesting topic for you guys at that time?
High school, I went to Karima Girls High School. It is just in Aberdare County. So in my class, agriculture class, we were around 60 girls who chose agriculture. So it has been a journey since then, because I can remember in our KCSE we planted carrots and they did very, very well.
Right.
And we got very good grades.
And that motivated you to become a farmer in real life.
Yeah.
Great. Pia naona hapa you have very unique vegetables. Si sana sana utatembea kwa watu upate broccoli, cauliflower. Wewe ndio make your decision ya kuamua these are the kind of veggies I will go for as you do mixed farming in this piece of farm. What informed that decision?
This decision was informed by several factors, because most farmers in Nyandarua do carrots and cabbages and potatoes. So I decided to go different, and because seeing these crops don't take long in the farm. It's around at most 4 months, but within 3 months zinakuanga ready and you can be able to sell them, so it is quick money. Yeah.
Pesa ya haraka haraka.
Pesa ya haraka haraka.
Right. Now that we are here, nataka tuongelele the different crops that we have in the farm, the period ambayo zinachukua kumature, and also when the market is very, very nice, utauza kwa bei ngapi? Tuanze na white cabbage.
Okay, for instance, white cabbage grows very well here because of the rains. At least tuko na Aberdare ranges around us, so the rains huwa hazikosi sana. So cabbages takes around 3 months to mature, and when the market is very good, you can at least sell it at 40 bob.
Per piece.
Per piece.
Right.
When the market is very, very, very good.
Right.
But sometimes the market goes very, very down until you can sell them at 5 bob per piece.
The lowest, yani umefanya kazi kwa shamba vizuri, unaona cabbage yenye uko nayo ni A1, lakini soko imekataa. The cheapest uliuza ilikuwa how much?
Ilikuwa 2 shillings per piece.
2 shillings per piece.
Yes.
And the highest you've ever sold your white cabbage?
45 bob per piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Red cabbage, muda wake ni how many months, na bei pale kwa soko on a good market day and a bad market day ni kiaje?
Okay, red cabbage compared to white cabbage takes a longer in the farm because they can go to between 4 to 5 months before maturity. When the market is very good, we sell them at 80 per kg. But when the soko is very bad, we can sell them at 15 bob to 20 bob per kg.
Right.
So at least compared to white cabbage, at least red cabbage zinakuanga na soko kiasi, si kama white cabbage.
Kilo ambayo unaweza pata kutoka kwa red cabbage ni kama ngapi?
Kilo moja hivi.
Yeah. In short, it's like you're selling red cabbage at 80 shillings per piece.
Yes.
Hiyo siku unakwanga, you run to the bank happy.
Kabisa.
Right. When we talk about the broccoli, pia hiyo period yake, na soko yake, na pamoja na cauliflower, how does that look like?
For my broccolis, I'm the one who plant the seedlings in the seed bed. I prepare the seed bed first, plant the seedlings, then transfer them to the main farm. So they take around between 3.5 to 4 months before maturity. So soko ya broccoli saa zingine haijai kuwa stable sana, especially in Nyandarua County, because the most we've sold it is 50 per kg. And you know, broccolis are very good in vitamin C. At least you can't compare broccolis and cabbage, but we sell them very cheaply compared to maybe red cabbage. But soko ikuwa mzuri, maybe tunauza 50 bob per kg, lakini soko ikuwa mbaya sana, 20 bob per kg.
How many pieces do you need ndio iwe kg?
around at most 3.
3.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
So ni kama pia awareness ya umuhimu wa broccoli, even how to eat them.
Yes, even
Haijafika.
hata kupika broccoli yenyewe
Yeah.
inataka a lot of awareness. Huwezi ipika kama cabbage.
Right.
Yes.
So you find in the urban areas soko iko
mzuri sana, lakini
huku,
ukikuja ground it is very 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 raw.
Alright, even here naona uko na viazi na inajulikana kwamba viazi ndio cash crop ya watu wa Nyandarua. Pengine utuambie the varieties that you grow here na also soko yenyu inakaaje?
Viazi for now zenye tunakuza Nyandarua right now tuko na types mbili. We have the Wanjiko type, we call it Wanjiko, and we have the Shangi type. So both of them do very well, though Wanjiko is a bit faster than the Shangi type. So soko ya viazi tena si mbaya sana, tuwezi complain because we still sell them, but it is not very very good. For instance, right now a bucket is going for 600 bob. But on a good day, you can sell it even for 1,000 Kenya shillings.
Right.
So at least viazi give us some money, and then they don't take long in the farm. It's around between at most 4 to 5 months. So pia pesa ya waru inakuanga mzuri. So the challenge here ni climate. When it rains a lot, waru zako zinaharibika.
Right.
Lakini weather ikikuwa too conducive, at least you have it something good.
Right. So umesema hapa tuko Aberdare Ranges, we can see that mvua inanyesha kila wakati. Nimetembea kila mahali, ni kama most of the farmers hawafanyi irrigation. Why is that the case?
The weather here inakuanga mzuri sana because tuko under the slopes of Aberdare Ranges. So unapatanga mvua inanyeshanga maybe after every 2 weeks kunanyesha, after every 2 weeks kunanyesha. So we don't do irrigation at all. So tunategemea hiyo mvua to grow our crops. So the weather here it's between it's wet and cold climate. So at least we don't hassle for the water because the rains are readily available.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us wakati mvua imekuwa excess, because like you mentioned, this place receives a lot of rainfall almost all through the year. How does that affect you as a farmer, and which crops commonly ndo zinapata hiyo effect?
Crops that get that stress, excess rain ni viazi, because viazi unachimbwanga mtaro. So when the rains comes, they fall under that kamtaro, and the crops start rotting because viazi ni tuber, grow na juu, grow na chini. So when it grows down and there's a lot of water underground, it start rotting. So you can't harvest anything. Otherwise, with the cabbage, with the broccolis, with the cauliflower, we require a lot of rain.
Right.
Yes.
Unajua kuna maeneo tumetembea and it's happening across the world. Climate change is real.
Yeah.
In different regions walikuwa wamezoea kupata mvua wakati fulani, sasa hii mvua haipatikani. Pengine utuambie if here in Nyandarua County you've experienced changes in climate. I believe you've been here for a very long period of time. Is the weather the same as it used to be, ama ni kama climate change imeanza kuingia sehemu hii?
Kuna tofauti imeanza kuingia, especially we don't have rains in September, especially in this county. But kwa huu mwaka mvua ni kama imenyesha throughout, from January to April to September. We have rains throughout the year. So we can't complain so much because we require the rains, but we still require the sun, because these crops as they grow, they also require that sun so that they can grow well. Lakini sasa kwa mvua, at least hii mwaka ni kama imetunyeshea throughout. So in this county you find that you plant every day. Unatoa waru leo, unaweka zingine kesho. We don't have any season ati unagojea 3 months ndio upande. So you harvest today, you plant tomorrow. You harvest the other day, so we keep on planting and harvesting. That is our trend here.
All right, Eliza, just create a better picture ndo mtu aelewe kabisa soko imekusumbuaje mpaka mimea unakosa mahali ya kupeleka. What happens after that? What has been the trend over the last few seasons?
Okay, over the last few seasons, soko haijakuwa mzuri sana. Imekuwa tu on and off, on and off. Sometimes iko juu, sometimes it's very low. Sometimes you waste a lot of crops because hakuna mtu anakuja in between. You have planted a lot of cabbages, a lot of broccolis, a lot of cauliflowers, but you find there's nobody coming to ask or to sell them to. So you find that most of these crops go to waste. Sometimes we just leave them and they become manure in the farm. So you you replant again. So soko haikwangi ati uko na consistency ile ya kupata napeleka hizi vitu mahali fulani, hapana. Ni yule tu mtu atakuja aseme nataka broccoli kilo 5, nataka broccoli kilo 10, umpatie, maybe akwambie ni 30 bob, na juu hauna place ya kuzipeleka, you sell them at that cost, and then the rest unapatanga tu they just go to waste.
Right.
Yes.
Kuna mimea fulani ambayo for sure umeiacha tu kwa shamba mpaka ikakuwa manure.
Yes.
Kama gani?
Kama white cabbage. Yes. We just leave them, zinaoza, zinakuwa manure, and then you dig again and you replant.
Right.
Yes.
As a farmer, that discourages you, lakini kama tu bado umerudi tu pale unaendelea tu kupanda kwa sababu hakuna sehemu ya hii shamba ambayo naweza kuambia iko empty.
Right.
You're back. Motivation yenye unapata to keep doing this hata kama soko saa zingine for you is not working ni kama gani?
As a farmer you should not give up. Unaona give up, sometimes unasemanga kesho itakuwa better. So as a farmer you just, and then nimekwambia huku climate is very conducive, so you can plant any day, any month. So you find that ukitoa hizi unaweka zingine, ukitoa hizi unaweka zingine without looking at nitatoa wapi soko ya kesho. Because sometimes you may find that unauza kama ni red cabbage for instance, this time umeiziuza 20 bob per kg, lakini next month utaziuza 80 bob per kg. So we don't give up at all. So hiyo imekuwa motivation yangu juu saa zingine unapata pesa ni mzuri sana, saa zingine hata kama pesa si mzuri, at least you have something and then it keeps you busy.
Right.
Yes.
Pengine lakini in the future unaweza jaribu kwanza kuongea na watu wa soko in different other counties outside Nyandarua. Seme unatafuta connections pale Nairobi, ndio hii cauliflower inaenda huko inauziwa masosi huko, unapata bei mzuri. Ndio usizoe tu soko moja, na unaona hapa nyinyi wote mnalima, kwa hivyo mnakutananga na mazao yenyu yote kwa shamba, si ndio?
Kabisa.
All right. Yes. Thank you so much for speaking to us about your farm. Something interesting also is you have a 3-year-old ambaye umeamua atakuwa mkulima by force in a good way.
Yes.
Tell us about your daughter and why you are bringing your child in the farm. Watoto sasa hivi wanataka PlayStation, wanataka kucheza na Cinderella. Wewe wako hapa mpaka kona jembe yake ndogo. Why?
Okay, when the girl was around 2 years and a half, I started coming with her to the farm. And I realized she has passion in the soil. I don't know what about her and the soil did, because you realize when you come in the farm, kazi yake tu, bora tu achafuke, she loves the soil. And then broccoli became her favorite crop. Mpaka during her 3rd year birthday, she told me to make her a broccoli cake, and that is what we did. And we did the photo shoot in the shamba because she has that passion for farming very much.
Nice.
Yes.
Are you happy when you see that, given that you're a farmer?
Yes, I'm very happy. Mpaka ilibidi tu nimtengeneze uma yake ya kulima, because she would tell me, mom nataka kulima, mom nataka kulima. So you can't leave her in the house and umwambia ati weka kwa nyumba mimi niende nikalime. Hapana, mom tunaenda na wewe. Hata kama kunanyesha, she wears her raincoat and we go with her to the farm.
Nice.
And she loves farming very much.
And it's good that you're nurturing it.
Yes.
Thank you so very much for being an amazing parent. You're raising a small mukulima. And thank you so much for talking to us. Asante sana kwa kutukaribisha pia kwa shamba yako. Now I want us to take our first break now, lakini tukikuja najua pia watazamaji wanataka kuona Shiro, our young farmer.
Yes.
So after this break we come back with our youngest farmer. She's only 3
years.
Na birthday yake alisema anataka
broccoli cake.
And she is a broccoli farmer. See you after this break with our youngest farmer.